for last 15, 16 years in franchising, we grew. Because every time we went to a client and say, look, you know which is my client? He says, Funds and Petals. Oh yeah, it lasted. It was a difficult product to do, but oh, it franchised. Because of that sustainability of those companies, we were able to grow. So what we need is more success stories. We are hungry for getting those success stories out now, because unless and until we continue to produce these great success stories, we'll not be able to excite a lot of people who queue up to get in this show. Because we are not in the business of selling ROIs, right? Because anybody can draw a good Excel sheet and sell that. What people want to buy is a great aspirational brand. They want to know a success story. They want to talk to your franchisees who have done well. That's what is important, right? And third is, I think, which we want to do is best practices. So for me, sustainability, success stories, and best practices would be the three most important agendas which we as an industry carry today. So a little bit of another interesting facts of what is happening in India. So Indian franchising is now seeing a very unique mix of potential franchisees, which is very important for people sitting in the room who are aspirant to become a franchisor. So that today, the entire system of business buyers is divided into three equal parts. One part is what we call enthusiasts. These are, you see around this show, about 40% of audience in this show is less than 35 years. They have never done business in their life. But they're hungry. They want to start a business for themselves. I call them enthusiasts. They are very quick to make a decision. They normally carry 2 checkbooks in their back pocket. They can sign off a check right now. I call them a greedy investors. They're extremely hungry to buy something right now. And also I see in the hall, there are a lot of greedy franchisors who also want to get their check right now, which is a deadly mix. Because two extreme greedy people, if they want to do business together, is going to create some problem. And it is also going to disturb sometimes the way business should be done. So I'm a little nervous about them. So I always tell them that, look, you need to take some call before you start investing. But they're enthusiasts, we have them. We need to balance their expectations, because they come and seek expectations of making money in 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. Franchise businesses were actually designed for people who believe in low risk, low return. It was reducing your risk business. If anybody ever sold me a franchise model which says you can make money in 4 months, then I will be surprised why he would not have enough money to do it himself, right? So there is no business I know, and I've done about 1,000+ consulting projects. I don't find businesses which can deliver you return on investments and so on and so forth in 4, 5, 6 months. So a lot of times I get scared about these companies. While I like them, because I want a lot of people to come in this show and a lot of people to exhibit there, which is my business, but I also want to bring in some kind of sustainability to the business model. So second lot, which I like the most, are the experienced. So first is enthusiast, and second is experienced. And now experienced, who are these people? They are people who have worked in some organizations, they have done some business in past. There is a new community which is also coming, what we call it serial franchise owners, who have performed in one company and now they want to take it. There's a gentleman, I have sold 45 franchisees in Bombay, one single person. And in the Linking Road, Bandra, he has taken 16 stores from me. He runs 16 stores in just one strip of Bandra. But he's a very successful. Anybody who wants to sell him a high ROI, he doesn't want to buy it. Anybody who gives him less, he doesn't want to take it. So he says no very easily, and he accepts any good opportunity which comes on the block. So he's aggressive, but he is not so aggressive. So that is a kind of approach which I think what we call it the experienced group. Then there is a seasoned investor. I am also scared about them. Why? Because they are people who just come in and say, I will invest 2 crores if you can guarantee 1.5% of return. which is very good. It's not a bad expectation to have. But who's going to operate the store? Who's going to make this 1.5% for you? If you believe that a franchisor would shift from his office to your store and make that 1.5% for you, you're mistaken. But we get them. So a lot of companies are now adapting what we call a franchise invested company operated models. If you feel that that kind of capital helps your business, please do it. If not, they are no go. If you need operators, you need operators who get in the store and do the job which they need to do. And then produce that 1.5% for them and also for you, your royalties. That's important. So, coming to today's discussion and why we felt that how do we address these three important issues, I felt that there are three more areas which I think we need to work upon and where Franchise India would contribute or FranCorp would contribute to work upon. As I said, sustainability is the most important for me, so that remains as a key topic today. And why sustainability is not there? Because I feel that the biggest problem is undercapitalization. The undercapitalization runs across ecosystem. Consumer is not spending enough. That's the first start. So we know it's a reality. Anybody who walks in here yesterday, today, says that I'm doing well in retail is telling a big lie. Retail is down by 30%. Coke sales is down by 18%. People are not even drinking Coca-Cola, right? That's a real world. 18% down. So, it's tough times. Retail is not performing. Businesses at the point of sales are low in business. So, businesses become tight. When businesses become tight, sustainability becomes even more difficult, demanding. So, undercapitalization is a very big problem. And I felt that even our franchise companies, franchisors, are undercapitalized. Franchisee is also undercapitalized because of bad selection. We sell franchises across our offices for various brands. And I have made a rule that whenever I have investors sitting across my table, I ask him, what do you want to invest? He says, anything which can give me a good ROI. Then I say, what is this anything? He says, no, money is no problem, but if it is a good ROI. Then I will ask him second question. He says, you would do 2 crores of investment? He says, no, maybe I'll start a little lesser. Then I will give him a paper and say, please write down on this, what do you want to invest? Then he'll write 50 lakh rupees, as if the income tax is going to come. So I know he has 50 lakh rupees. When I know 50 lakh rupees, then I also know, as Indian especially, when I say 50 lakh rupees, I have already taken 30 lakh rupees which is lying in bank, 10 lakh rupees which I will borrow, 5 lakh rupees I will keep the vendor payment pending, 5 lakh I will manage at that time. So I'm already stretched. At that stage I invest. And business, as ROI would tell, never take off. It takes some time, it takes gestation. So he's already in the second month not having enough money to pay for his aircon bills. And he's disappointed because business is not performed. And now he doesn't like the franchisor. And then the disputes start, and this happens and that happens. So it all gets into it. I think there is a good theory of saying A gets A gets A gets A, B gets C, gets D, gets E. That's a life cycle, right? So if you know he has 50 lakh rupees, I would say give him a business which is 25 lakhs. So he has a money in the pocket, he can sustain it. So franchisee selection is a very, very important aspect where you need to select somebody who's adequately capitalized. And companies also have to be adequately capitalized. I don't know why franchise organizations feel shy to raise money, have enough money in the bank to support that. While franchising works on what we call OPM principle, other people money. But it still doesn't mean that you can do it for free. It still needs some kind of investment, which is very important. Another area which which is extremely important, and I'll be very candid about it. 40% of all franchisees get disappointed before they even started their outlet. Because when he's signed with you in this show or anywhere, he's the most excited, at top of it. And then next week, he's forgotten, no call from your office goes, nobody tells him where to start an outlet, how the interior is going to happen, where the equipment is going to come, when this outlet is going to be started. A lot of things which we call it a pre-launch hand-holding is not given in the professionalism it should be given. So he's already disappointed the day the ribbon is cutting for his store. Now, hear me out, what happens next? The store doesn't have the sales which he expected. His store was delayed. It took 2 months extra to get it there, and now it doesn't take off. So that 40% becomes maybe 100%. And then he doesn't like you. So in the dependent stage, you build relationship. And then we call interdependent stage. Some I know, some I need to still learn. You need to handhold, quarterly new training structures, fortnightly calls with the franchisee to see how the performance is coming up. And then comes a stage where he's reached to what we call an optimum performance level. That time we call it a independent stage. So dependent, interdependent, independent. So these 3 stages have to be designed, companies have to design programs to handle these 3 relationships in a disorder. So as a perspective, I feel that if I have to really make 3 strong recommendations today, and I have a full panel which is going to speak after me, and they're much more experienced than I would be, and they will obviously pick up from this perspective and share their insights and their real situations. I would say if Indian franchise companies have to become large enough, and they need to really be significant enough, then they need to work on 3 things. One is sustainability, second is relationships, and third is international. Why we will not produce concepts which can go international? Now I travel to Europe, I go to other places, I see great concepts, but I say, while I know a lot of people in India who have better concepts. I have a dear friend called Zoravar Kalra. He started a restaurant called Masala Library, Farzi Cafe. I have another friend, Riaz, who started Smokehouse, Social. They are fabulous concepts. I mean, you go to Social and you tell yourself, why can't this be in Manhattan? What stops it? Why we only think that again, I will use Sagar Ratna. Sagar Ratna can go because a lot of South Indians live outside and they want to have a dosa. So while it is also a great story because we have a lot of Indians living abroad, we can only service that also will make a 1,000 crore company. But why can't we create homegrown international concepts which can go global? So these 3 things we will work as Franchise India, you will see in next 2 to 3 years. We will put whatever we have into these 3 things. We'll bring sustainability, we'll at least talk about it. We'll talk openly about companies who do well, and we will also talk openly about companies who don't do well. Because I have a responsibility towards that 20,000 people who walk in, who believe that I'm giving them a great story, right? And I don't want to disappoint them. And we need to really talk and give them facts which they need to know. So we will work on that. We will work on relationships. We'll bring in a lot of programs, a lot of capabilities, a lot of things, which is all about relationships, how the relationships develop better. And we'll also do a lot of effort. Starting next year, we're building a show with a partner in Singapore to bring the World Franchise Forum in Singapore. So that would be the first master franchise show coming from Franchise India for a global market. So we want to create those platforms which can give Indian companies opportunity to be seen in the world space. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time this morning. And I will tell Ritu to now lead. She is much better a moderator than I am because I had no patience, and I can shift this topic and go into some other topic altogether. And so thank you very much. Thank you for having the patience to listen to me. Thanks.